Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 10 of Racing Revelations. We are going to be going over some sports betting this fine evening. We have here next to me.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Sam.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Isaac. Alrighty, boys, let's get this rolling here.
Deep dive into F1 sports betting for all you degenerates out there.
You want to get us started, Sam?
Get us started. We're going to start off. We're going to explain a few terms for all you dumbasses out there that don't know what these mean. I don't know what they mean.
But it's for people that...
It's people that are getting into sports betting or want to bet on Formula One but don't know how. Or they bet on Formula One and they want the advice of four total strangers, which is just sad.
But that's
how I roll. So
I mean, that's how Sam started.
That's how, I do it still to this day.
And you're up how much?
$100,000?
Yes.
Speak it into existence, baby.
All right, let's hop into it. First term, race props.
Let's take it over.
Sam, go for it.
Let it rip.
Yeah,
Go
sure.
for it.
Real quick, we need a preface for the audience that 1 in 4 is a degenerate gambler. There's 4 dudes here.
Take a guess.
The degenerate looks like Sam Smith, and his name's Sam.
That's fucked up. Does not look like.
All right, Sam, take it away.
That's what we should have done on the lookalike.
All right,
Race props.
that's fucked up. All right, so some of the race props. So race props, in a general term, are the bets that you make on the race. Just that simple. Podiums, finishes, point finishes sometimes, where guys are going to place. Sometimes you can even do qualifying finishes, so you could have a guy like betting on Haas for Hulkenberg to finish in Q3, stuff like that. You could have winner, stuff like that. That's race props.
Even DNFs, right?
Even DNFs. You can bet on a DNF. And actually, if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty and hit some of those like plus 250,000 odds, you can guess on when a guy will DNF. What lap and what turn. So if you do that.
Turn?
Yeah, if you do
Yeah,
that,
you can do
I'm pretty impressed.
So we're thinking Lance Stroll's just DNF turn 1.
Turn 1, first lap. Hopefully in the warm-up lap.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That's it, yeah. Screw him.
Right. Next one, podium finishes. Pretty simple. Who's going to get on the podium that race? Usually it's top 3. It doesn't matter any order. You can bet on the order, kind of like horse racing, but with podium finishes in F1, any order. Just someone that's going to get on the podium. Still me? I'm just going to keep going.
I mean, outright for the race weekend, who's going to win it?
Yeah, exactly. That's simple. Who's going to win the race?
And then obviously outright for the year is that next step up. So it's who's going to win and you can bet on team and then you can bet on individual driver as well. So it's like if you're looking for someone that's like, all right, I think they're going to win the constructors championship, or I think they're going to win the drivers.
Yep.
Those are your choices.
And then probably the coolest part about F1 is they actually have an entire section of betting without Max Verstappen. So you can bet on who's going to either finish second or anything like that, win the race, without Verstappen being involved.
Which essentially is just, it just shoots odds. So the odds are just...
Oh, they just plummet.
Yeah,
For example, we'll add a picture right here. For example, Lando himself, minus 1,700 for this next race weekend without Max Verstappen. So they think he's either going to win or finish right behind Max Verstappen.
Which is like, I mean, people... I don't know. Everyone's saying
like
Max
Lewis
is going to...
3,200.
Yeah.
3,200.
You don't think Max is going to come out of the break pretty hot? You think Merck cooked during the summer and
Wait,
it's
so
going to bring out some
explain
upgrades?
that. I'll play the idiot for this. Explain that. So that's basically meaning that betting without Max. So let's say, if I bet Lewis at plus 3,200, if he finishes second, do I win?
If he finishes second behind Max.
Yeah.
If he finishes second behind Lando, you don't win.
Okay.
So realistically, it's like betting.
But what if
He could finish top 2 and still you could.
What
still
if he
win.
beats Max? Still, obviously, it
You win.
hits same odds.
Mm-hmm. But his odds at that point, it would have just made more sense to bet just the outright winner.
Yeah, but you know.
But it's Max.
But it's kind of a hedge if you think about it.
Yeah.
Kind of. If you bet both, that would be
you could realistically.
in terms of hedge.
Interesting.
It pretty much just takes Max. It makes it 19 cars instead of 20.
Okay, this brings up a good little quick stop. I would argue everybody on this list, Lando, Oscar, Leclerc, Lewis, Giorgio, and Carlos, those are basically the best of the rest, in my opinion, driver-wise.
Agreed. Totally.
So, like, out of those guys, who do you think's going to win the most races the rest of the season?
Out of all those guys?
Out of all those guys.
That's tough.
I would like to say that Lando is, but it just depends. I mean, if McLaren doesn't come back from the summer break cranking on all cylinders, maybe Mercedes passes him up.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. I would also like to argue that maybe Leclerc and Sainz make a run if hopefully Ferrari actually did something. They got off their ass over the summer break and did something for once.
Yeah.
And didn't just worry about making the car more red. Like that's what kind of they spend all their time doing. It's like,
Don't worry.
we're the Scuderia, baby. Our car's just going to be red, and that's all we care about.
You know that livery
we'll finish 14th.
You know that livery for Monza is going to cook.
And that's probably where they spend all their summer break time.
Yeah.
Probably. I think Lando will actually end up winning the most races in the last half of the season. I think he'll actually win more than Max. I think he'll win the most
Interesting.
in the last half of the year.
Why do you?
I'm going
What's
ballsy.
the thoughts on that one?
I'm a
Probably
huge
the hat.
bandwagon.
Yeah.
But also, I think McLaren will come out with the same momentum that they had. They by far had the fastest car.
Yeah.
They showed a race. They had a race where they went 1-2 and they were 13 seconds ahead of third place. If they can keep that kind of momentum up, I could see. I'm not saying he's going to win them all. I'm just saying Lando might win
A
2 or 3
majority.
of these after the summer break. 2 or 3 races after the summer break.
That's
I
it.
think he could have a crazy good second half of the year if he knows how to finish.
Yeah.
Something that I don't.
Zing.
Absolute zinger. What's the thoughts on? So I mean, overall, you got Lewis plus
but-
1,000 for Dutch Grand Prix.
But we have head-to-heads, too. Are we going to get there?
We'll go to head-to-heads. That's
Okay.
for the year. So we'll start Dutch Grand Prix. You Lewis at plus 1,000 to win. Lando plus 175. Max at plus 185 is interesting to me, but I think it's just because of the way it's been
Yeah.
the past few races. And these all of these odds are also through FanDuel, is what these are coming through. So if you're booking through DraftKings or any of the other betting
vary.
platforms, they're going to vary a little bit.
I think it's pretty interesting that they have Lando
Ahead
has
of
better
me.
odds to win than Max for the first race out of the break.
Out of the break.
I like it.
Can we bet, like, if
And
I
it's the
want...
Dutch Grand Prix.
True.
Could I bet only on one guy to get in the points? Like, if I wanted to take Albon to get in the points, I can just bet him.
Mm-hmm. You can bet him to get in the points. Those odds usually are.
Like shit. But
Yeah, but I mean, you could. I mean, if you could,
pays
you got to
much.
think about it. You can combine 10 of those guys, and you could bet
Yeah,
on
you
every
just-
guy to get in the points, and you could make a $10 bet, and it could turn into
a couple bands.
800. Yeah,
You just
$1,000
cook a
bucks.
nice parlay. So for anyone that doesn't know what a parlay is, it's a combination of single bets that you can combine into kind of one big bet. So you put $10 in, and your payout's going to be much larger because obviously there's a lot of things to go right.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously this episode's kind of a lot of
Introduction.
basics, introduction for people in betting.
This
and
is for the 16-year-olds out there that are thinking about
Hitting up
sliding
their older
in.
brother.
Yeah.
Hey, throw
let
20
me
bucks on
preface
this for me.
If you have a problem with gambling,
Yeah.
keep it up.
Because we don't know
Get help.
the we don't know
If
the
you have a
number.
problem with gambling, actually get help.
We legally don't have to disclose a number until someone sponsors this.
Yes.
So.
But don't be a degenerate too much.
No.
But so what's the most shocking one here on this list for Dutch Grand Prix? Who do we think could make a run that has kind of the worst odds to win it?
I think Lewis
Yeah, I'm going to go
at
Lewis
plus
too.
1,000.
Plus 1,000. I could honestly see. I mean, you don't think Carlos makes a run? Plus 2,800.
I just don't think Ferrari's going to come out
Hot.
swinging. I think they're going to come out better than they've been in the last few races, but I don't think they're going to come out swinging. I think they're going to come out like baby swinging.
Maybe swinging.
Yeah.
Like they'll finish in the top 5, top 6, but
Little pony
after
swinging.
that, I don't think they could do
But
much
that's
better.
it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, it'd be electric if our boy like Valtteri or something won the whole thing.
dude.
Plus
That'd be
42,000. But chance of that one, I think probably have to be an explosion at the racetrack,
Yeah.
and only 3 cars competed.
I-
A
and-
bunch of
I
people
gotta
crash
admit-
on turn 1 because of Lance
Don't
Stroll.
make those bets, people.
yeah.
Don't bet on like the plus 42,000. I know you look at it and go, oh, I'll just bet $1 to win 420. You're just throwing away $1.
Yeah, if you want to make those
Realistically.
big swings, you got to go for literally any other sport.
Yeah.
F1 is not.
Not a big swinging sport.
No.
No, and I mean, it's compared to other sports, like there's just not that much. There's not a lot of upsets. It's just it's the nature of the beast.
Betting on guys getting in the points is about as crazy as you could
get.
realistically get.
I mean, people like D Rick. Sure, there's some low odds for him to finish in the points, but so that may be a smart play.
if they messed around with the integrity of the sport and started doing different kinds of race formats, then you'd see more people betting.
Could make it more interesting.
I kind of want to go back, though, and I want to get all your thoughts on that real quick. What are your thoughts on Lando at plus 175 and Max at plus 185 for this next race?
Yeah, I'm surprised just because I think Max is going to win it.
I think Max will win. I mean, Max has won how many years in a row at this track?
Too many.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, it's his hometown race, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
so like he's gonna want to come out after the break hot.
Yep, and you know
especially with the last couple races that he's had, he's like knowing Max being the ego guy that he is, he can't.
We got to do this now.
I don't think he can afford that.
So mentally, you guys would place a bet on Max.
I'd probably go
take the plus 185.
I think Max probably wins this next race, so I'm taking that plus 185.
And as our self-appointed resident Dutch racing correspondent, there's the track sets up so well for him.
It'll be a good race, but I agree. I actually do agree. I think Max has a good chance of
walking away.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Someone may come and have cooked away in the labs and come up with something crazy, but I don't see it being anything that's gonna totally outshine what Red Bull's also done.
Agreed.
Because people talk all the time about it's like, all right, McLaren, Mercedes, even Ferrari, they're gonna do the teams made some incredible updates, incredible upgrades on the car, whether it's small things with just tweaking aerodynamics, stuff like that. But people don't really, and it's always, how is it going to compete against Red Bull? But on the flip side of that, people kind of overlook the fact that, hey, Red Bull makes upgrades too.
Yeah.
So it's like we're trying to reach a Red Bull going into the break that was already ahead.
Yeah, and now
expecting them to not have made any increases either.
Yeah, agreed.
I got one more question for you on the Dutch Grand Prix. What do you think about Danny Rick at plus 4,200 having way better odds than a dude like Fernando Alonso at plus 20,000? And even better than his teammate at plus 20,000. That's insane.
Yeah, the plus 4,200 doesn't make sense to me. When you're looking at some of the other guys, I just don't.
The gap between Danny Rick and his teammate, if anything, is not that big, and if anything, it should be switched the other way. Yuki's been outperforming Danny Rick all year.
Yeah, but we've talked about this, and
it's Danny Rick.
It's D-Rick. Everyone loves D-Rick. There's a good chance he may end up at Red Bull.
It's true.
Here within the next 2 years or so.
I think sometimes betting sites jump on the opportunity to
try to get ahead of
a guy's name.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree. You're betting on a name with if you're betting D-Rick.
Yep.
That's kind of the argument there.
Now, as a points finish, I would probably take D-Rick.
You would take him in points. What are we thinking? So podium, obviously, you got 1, 2, and 3. Different odds here. Coming in front, you got Lando at minus 360, Max at minus 290, Oscar at minus 180. Anyone we think needs to be in the negatives here? Or do we like the positives for everyone else?
I think that's
pretty
how you
accurate. Gotta run
it. Yeah.
I mean, the only one maybe you could throw in would be a dude like Lewis or George.
Yeah.
Maybe at like, I don't know. I think it's a pretty good list, realistically.
I think it's pretty spot on.
I think it's hysterical that Sergio's plus 850 to finish on the podium.
See, I actually don't think, when you really get down to the nitty-gritty, that's not a terrible bet to place. Throw $5 down.
For plus 850 odds. I mean,
just for a podium. If he
yeah.
can perform after summer break, maybe that reset, maybe he comes out guns blazing.
Yeah.
And if we hit this on the nose and dude gets a podium, whoever made those bets,
thank us, follow us, like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Throw me a little cash.
Smash the like button.
Yeah. Smash the like button. Smash any of the buttons.
Guys, I'm a little disappointed.
Why?
Thought I could get a cheap flight to Amsterdam this weekend. Not possible.
How much?
How much are we looking?
Nothing under sub 4 digis.
Yeah, you're not finding anything.
I mean, we're in the heat of hot boy European summer. Just no shot in getting to.
No, not getting
to Holland.
The Grand Prix. I think that. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. You guys got to go to any race outside of the U.S. Where are you going?
Outside the U.S.
Outside the United States.
As much as
what are we taking into account?
Nothing.
Sex appeal or just like the whole
sex appeal? I'm going to Amsterdam.
No,
you're going to Amsterdam? You're just going to red light district.
No, I meant sex appeal of the track. You guys are morons. I just meant sex appeal of the track.
Oh. So like you're not talking about life outside the.
I'm not talking about.
Okay, just.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do you guys want to do? Are we doing this based on just the track?
Let's do both.
Let's do like the eye test? You know, sex appeal is the eye test, or are we going all around of like just the vibes.
I
the
was saying like
experience.
experience.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Silverstone
overall.
for me.
Yeah,
Silverstone 100%.
I was gonna say, I know we bash Monaco a lot, but like you see the light of what Monaco is. I would say Monaco.
And that's taking into account everything around it, not really the race.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's what makes Monaco Monaco.
Well, but
Yeah,
to be
totally.
fair, being at Monaco would be pretty special.
Oh,
that's what I'm
awesome.
saying. Like all
And-
of like the activities outside of the race that are there because of the race, but like the restaurants, the atmosphere, the boat
casinos,
life,
yeah.
everything like that people go to Monaco for during race weekend. I think that would be cool. And then obviously you get to see one of the most popular. I feel like
if not the
most
most.
average, well-known race around the world.
I agree.
And from
is Monaco.
Yeah. And I actually know people personally that have gone to that race, a few different people, and they loved it. They loved it.
Jackson's friends with a lot of, Steiny's friends with a lot of famous people.
Fucking
Here we go.
Fucking Steiny. I don't think I look like Steiny.
Oh,
Where would you go?
twins.
I went to Zandvoort, but not for the race, obviously, and I was like drooling at the fact of like being able to go back for the race because the setting of it is sick, and Amsterdam as a whole is a really cool town. The other race that I would say I'd be super interested in going to, I'm between Singapore for obvious reasons and
Singapore is just badass.
yeah, and any of the Middle Eastern races like
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi
Oh, Abu Dhabi would be
Or-
so cool.
It'd be so hot.
or
don't-
one of the Qatar or
Dude, we live in the desert.
Yeah. I don't think I could do Abu Dhabi just because of what happened. I just have such a disdain for that race and that,
that was
track.
Bahrain.
No, it wasn't. It was Abu Dhabi.
Oh, are we thinking?
2021.
I'm talking 2021.
I thought you were talking about when the
Lewis
they
getting
bombed
robbed.
the oil refineries.
No, I was not. Didn't know that
Only
happened,
talking
but
Formula One.
I'm talking Formula One. But sure, I mean, yeah, disdain for that as
You
well.
made it like
but-
a safety concern thing, so I thought you
Oh,
were
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
like
no, I'll go anywhere. I don't
counterterrorism
care.
and stuff.
No, I'll go
I don't
wherever.
care. I'll go anywhere.
We'll go anywhere. We're going to Yemen next week.
Oh, Jesus.
But I mean, I don't think I could do Abu Dhabi literally just because of Michael Massey. That brother ruined that race for me, and it'll always be that's the race that we got screwed at.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
I mean, you're probably on your own we over there.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying we
as a-
got screwed
as-
at. Me as the
Keep
Mercedes
my name
camp.
out of your Mercedes coalition.
Yeah, the Mercedes camp. So I don't know. I mean, that's what I would say about that. Personally, I think I'd also say Silverstone. I liked London a lot.
I loved it.
London's a cool place.
I've heard good
Silverstone would
I've
things.
be
heard the track is awesome.
Silverstone would be a fun track to go see.
Yeah.
All right, we want to move into another betting segment.
Let's jump into the Drivers' Championship. Max at minus 650, Lando at plus 280, and Oscar at plus 14,000. So really, it's a two-man race.
Yeah.
It's a stretch to
And
even
it's a
have
stretch.
Oscar at plus, or to have Lando at plus.
Do you
280.
think? Well, I was gonna say anyone. Do you think Lando has any chance of catching Max, or do you think that bet would kind of just be thrown away money?
How close are they?
I believe Max is up like 60, 70 points.
I just don't think I don't.
I mean, you're talking about like 3 or 4 races of or 2 to 3 races of Lando getting first and Max getting no points before he catches up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
he's
man.
so currently right
Jesus.
now.
78.
Max is at 277. Lando is at 199.
So they're 78 apart.
I just don't think that Lando can catch him.
No,
I really don't.
That's 3 races of
Yeah.
getting first and Max not even getting
And Max not getting points.
Yeah.
There's not enough time in the calendar.
But hear me out. If Austria goes any differently 3 times, you do that. Lando starts doing the Senderoos, trying to think of some tracks here off the top of my head and trying to calculate this in my head, but they start battling like they were at the Red Bull Ring. Max gets clipped. Lando loses a tire but makes it into the pits. Boom. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that 2 more times.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
I mean,
mean,
it's
so
a pretty far fetched.
It's theoretically possible.
Yeah.
He could catch him. I think a track like Singapore. Maybe
Yeah, street track.
last year.
Yeah.
Street track
Last year
where
you saw
somebody
that
could
win?
dump it.
that's where I think someone like Sergio Perez
Yeah.
could win.
Yeah,
So I bet Sergio. I'm gonna book that right now. Sergio Perez wins at Singapore.
those odds would be like plus like 3,000. I
Yeah,
love it.
literally.
If you hit
Oh, that's
that,
good.
Should we
Sergio
do?
wins at
Are
Singapore.
we
that.
planning on doing some form of tribute ceremony for George's front right? That was Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Singapore.
He loves that wall.
Yep. He's in the wall. He's in the wall. I don't know. I mean, so the remaining races we got Zandvoort, Monza, Azerbaijan, Singapore, Coda, Mexico, Brazil, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. I just don't think there's enough time there for Lando to catch.
I agree with you. And I think that the odds on that are surprisingly
Close.
well, I'm surprised that they don't have Lando at like plus 500.
Like farther away.
Yeah. I think they're doing that so people will make the bet.
Exactly.
That's all they're doing. It's just it's a money play.
And obviously, if you bet on Verstappen right now minus 650, go ahead, throw $650 on it, and you win 100. More than likely, you'll hit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I might do that.
yeah, there you go.
That's
Might not be a
650
terrible tactic.
on max or 100. Yeah, I mean,
Because think about how funny it would be if that doesn't hit.
Oh, dude.
I wouldn't call that funny.
That'd be
Losing
such a
$650. I'd be
sad day.
pissed.
yeah, and there's a ton of people out there that's like, hey, I'm just gonna throw $5,000 onto max winning. You got the fun. Yeah, you got the funds to do it. I guess more power to you, but never know what can happen.
So we all agree. We don't think
No.
Lando could catch Max by the end of the year.
I don't think Lando
think
can
so.
catch.
Just a little
Max.
too late.
Realistically, no.
Now, our boy Logan Sargent at plus 50,000, I think, can make a run.
Please don't make
Shut
those
your
bets,
face.
people.
Don't
And
be
if you
dumb.
do, send us a picture.
Yeah, please send us a photo.
We'll reimburse you about 0.2% of your bet,
Yeah.
up to a cap of $10,000.
So let's talk next then. We think that individual drivers' championships lockdown.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Max has that in the bag.
Yeah.
What do we think about constructors then?
I think it's a lot closer than people think.
So
Yeah.
currently, Red Bull's at 408, McLaren is at 366, Ferrari 345, and then Mercedes at 266, and then it severely drops off after that.
So we're looking at about, 40 points?
We're looking at about 44. Yeah,
42.
we're looking at 42 points.
And that
We could do
feels like
math.
half that.
So that's one. That could literally be one race.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the odds. So currently, to win the constructors' championship, McLaren's favored.
Minus 185 and Red
Minus
Bull's at plus 120. That's going to be an exciting. I think this is what's going to keep people intrigued into Formula One for the rest of the year.
Agreed.
It's the race between McLaren and Red Bull. It's not going to be the Max Lando.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's going to help, but that's not individual anymore. It's going to be about the team. So I think it's actually going to come down to Oscar and Sergio. Those are going to be the two most important guys.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of all this, too, is you have Ferrari that's 20 points back. Ferrari is 20 points back from McLaren.
Yeah.
Their odds to win the constructors are plus 3,200.
That's insane.
McLaren's 185, Red Bull's 120, Mercedes is 3,200.
And Mercedes
How in
is,
the hell?
What is that, 80
Mercedes
points?
is at
Yeah.
266,
80 points behind
Red Bull's at
Ferrari.
408.
80 points behind Ferrari. That just shows how little people believe in Ferrari, fixing their car,
Yeah.
which I'm gonna have to agree with. I think if you made me bet between Mercedes and Ferrari right now,
I'm
I'd
taking
probably
Mercedes.
take Mercedes at plus 3,200.
Yeah.
With the way they've been able to progress their car, and I think their driver lineup is better.
I would agree. I mean, so you think it's a driver lineup issue with Ferrari? Who do you think is the issue in that?
I think it's more their strategists and whoever the hell their mechanics are.
Yeah.
I think their drivers are great. I think their drivers could thrive on any team. You throw Leclerc and Sainz on McLaren with that car, they're probably going to win the constructors, just like Lando and Oscar probably are. I mean,
they're
that's
thriving.
the thing. I just think Ferrari's car, for some reason, it happens a lot. They start off strong, or they'll come back strong. They come back strong, or they start strong. They're strong for like 5 or 6 races, and then they fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah, they fuck up some pitting, or they fuck up some decision to switch someone onto freaking inters or something stupid. Is kind of how it always seems to be.
Yep.
Isaac, what are your thoughts on current situation at Ferrari? Do you think who's the?
I agree with Sam that I think it's people behind the scenes that somebody's making some decisions to not benefit drivers, or they're telling like their strategy's off, or somebody in the pits is making the wrong decisions. Because obviously, like Sam was saying, like they have great drivers. Like these are the best drivers in the world, and those guys are up there.
Yeah, and they're way higher than anyone else on the grid.
Yeah.
The bottom teams.
Yeah, they're in the top 10 of drivers in the world, and they're not having somebody that's backing them to help them perform. Because like Sam said, you put them on McLaren, Red Bull, those guys will be even higher. They will be the Lando and Oscar. But something is going on behind the scenes that's not allowing them to be there.
Interesting.
They sold their year for Monaco.
Yeah. It just seems like there's just like a culture that's
He's
just
sold.
the culture. I don't know. It just needs I don't know if it needs an overhaul or what it is, but like
It needs a 7-time world champion.
is that really going to change it though?
I mean,
If there's
listen,
anyone in F1,
that's what I'm saying.
that
Are
can
you worried?
overhaul it.
That's what I'm asking. I mean, I think about this weekly. Like I worry for your mental health next year.
Mine?
Yeah.
When Lewis is finishing 7th.
Dude, I just don't. I don't know.
Jackson's been crying at the beginning of
that's
every
more
pod.
of the underlying story about if Lewis wins one more race by the end of the year in a Mercedes car.
I think he does.
So, do you feel happy or upset about that? Because
About him winning one more race, you're saying? No, I mean, I think he wins another race, and I think it's great. I mean, I'll be a Mercedes fan.
You think he can win
For
this weekend?
I'll always be a Mercedes fan, depending
as
on
long as Toto's there.
As long as Toto's there, and as long as I love George, but as long as if we bring in Max, I'm gone. And I don't care
Jump
about.
ship.
I'll jump ship because I just
To
don't
everyone
like,
at
I don't
Red
like
Bull,
Max.
please get rid of Max.
Yeah, I just
Send
don't
him
like
to
Max.
Mercedes.
Don't
For the
bring him to
memes.
Mercedes,
Yes.
please. Please don't do that to me. But I mean, I don't know. Part of me thinks that even with Lewis there, and you have Lewis and Charles, I don't think it's going to change that much. I really don't. I don't think we're going to see. The only time that I think we're going to see a big change is after the engine deal with Honda and Red Bull ends.
Yeah.
And that is 2025, correct?
I think
Or 2026?
I think it's
So
6
they-
when the new regs.
So, yes, with the new regs coming in, I think we're going to see Red Bull kind of fall. Because damn well knows they can't produce their own engine. Or whoever they end. I don't know if they've talked about
something in the works.
outsourcing it or partnering with someone else, but I just don't think they're going to be able to recreate what they have right now. I just don't think it's possible. So that's where I'm like, maybe we don't see Ferrari take a big leap next year, but it's the following.
Yeah.
Is my thought.
And that might be
So
what
2
Lewis is
years.
thinking.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. That might be the play.
So he just switches to
I think
Ferrari,
that's the-
bites the bullet for a year, and then comes out hot.
Yeah. But then that's also saying
he-
Mercedes has 0 upgrades in that time as well. But I don't know if you're throwing what's his name, Antonelli into that seat.
I don't think he's going to do as good as people would want him.
I also don't really think Antonelli's going to be there next year.
Who else are you going to bring in at this point? Everybody's taken
You steal signs.
again somehow out of some miracle from Williams.
I just don't think it happens. I wish it would happen, but I don't know.
Signs is F1's zaddy. We need him in
I
a
do want to
Merc.
ask one more question on that. What do you guys think really about the odds? Would you take McLaren at minus 185 or Red Bull at plus 120, considering Red Bull has the, what was that, 80-point
80 point lead currently.
I'm trying to make money, so I'm taking Red Bull.
No, sorry.
60 point lead.
Red Bull has
Or
a
40-point lead, sorry.
Red Bull has a 40-point lead.
Yeah, 44.
I think I'm taking Red Bull. I mean, this is basically like these odds to me is almost like they don't really think Red Bull is going to win that many other races.
I think they think it's a 2v1.
It is. It basically has been a 2v1 up until this point. I think Sergio's had a few weeks to reset his mind, spend some time with his kids and family, and hopefully come back focused more than ever. Because God knows that guy needs it. And we all no matter how much I shit on Red Bull, and because I don't love Christian Horner and I don't love Max, just like the overall team, I like Sergio Perez. He's a hell of a guy.
But he wasn't even racing that bad before.
Serge?
I don't want to relitigate
His
that.
qualifying's been killing him.
The qualifying
It's,
was,
it's really like the last 6 races have just been killing him.
yeah.
But I gotta ask, are we booking that Sergio Perez podium this week?
I like a Sergio Perez podium this
What was
week.
that, plus 850, right?
Plus 850.
And
Look
this
at
is
here.
why you're don't like him.
Yes, but also realize that we have zero expertise.
I
in
mean,
any of
technically,
this.
nobody has expertise on gambling.
Yes, but I'm more meaning F1.
Oh.
None of us have been anywhere near a grid. You're just listening to 4 random dudes in a living room with an empty wall behind us that we need to finally get something on the fucking wall because we look like psychopaths.
We could throw a paint bucket against it. Very abstract.
Yeah. a
Very
lot.
demure.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
done.
jeez.
Oh, dude.
There we
I
go.
had to do that for Jackson.
hate
So
What was
yeah,
that?
we're booking that. If you see this on your For You page, make that bet.
8 fit plus 850.
Make that bet. Tag us when you lose all your money.
Yep.
Or win. If you win,
tag us.
Just follow.
Yep, just give us a follow. That's all we ask.
If they win, they can come on the pod.
Oh,
Yes.
Not in person, but
we'll phone
via-
them in.
You can call in.
Yeah.
We'll answer any questions you have about betting.
or life.
Yep, or life.
Wimbledon, The Pursuit of Happiness, anything.
Not the movie. It's a terrible movie.
The song.
Whatever.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I excited to get back into it.
When do
I
you
think we
think
had a
that-
good summer break?
When was the last time McLaren won a world championship? Constructors.
ooh,
2000 was that 8?
That was Lewis. He won drivers. I said constructors.
The Constructors Championship. I'm going to say 2002.
oh, I have no idea.
I'm gonna go with, like
Tap into just what you kind of know about the year. So
give me 92.
closer than
What's the year?
98.
Okay.
I tried.
That's a big jump. I just don't think they can
20
win.
is that 26 years? Am I doing the math right?
I think they could win the Constructors, but that's like basically like we talked about. It's a 2v1 is what people are viewing it as.
Yep.
Sergio's going to wake the hell up. Max is going to probably come out and win this weekend.
Yeah.
It's just going to be tough to catch them.
So you think Red Bull starts to pull away at the end of this year?
I think Red Bull pulls away.
Or in the second half of the year?
Or maybe not even pull away, but just
Maintain their lead.
Kind of coast?
they don't snap the rope, but the rope stays the same length type
So they
thing.
kind of just coast?
Yeah.
McLaren's always just trying to catch up?
Yeah.
I can see it.
They may not even. I don't even think my prediction would be that McLaren never gets within 25 points.
Okay.
So let's say I just don't think that there's just so many things that would have to happen for them to close that gap. Max would have to have terrible finishes.
It would probably take Max finishing in the bottom, I don't know, probably maybe in the 8th through 10 spot in a couple races to hit that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Which is possible.
It's very possible.
You have a DNF. He's got an engine failure. Sergio qualifies in 18th and makes it up to the 14th spot. There's a chance it happens. I just don't like the odds.
A couple races with Red Bull falling apart and McLaren's back in it, but then you have to look at that same way and go, same thing. Lando could have an engine failure. You could puncture a tire.
Yep.
It's no one knows, and
Anything
it's
can
going to
happen.
be really entertaining to finish the year. I think.
Yeah.
I would agree.
If you could go into the last race of this year with Red Bull or McLaren up by 6-7 points, either one, it's going to be a real exciting finish because both teams are going to tell both their guys and go drive like hell.
Doesn't
You know
matter.
it's going to be a great race.
Yeah. Give it
Yeah,
everything.
you're going to have that repeat of what it was a few years ago with Lewis and Max.
And maybe if it gets to that point and Red Bull's up 6 points and they need to pass Lewis, maybe Lewis takes one for the team and takes out Max again. We'll pay
Be all
that.
for it.
Do it.
Be all for it.
yeah, I'm trying to convince myself into it, but I don't think. I was saying if Max doesn't beat third place the first 3 races, McLaren would be in the lead. Given that McLaren goes 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Doesn't matter whether, obviously, doesn't matter whether Lando wins or Oscar wins.
Yeah.
But as long as they can keep Max behind them, they would be chilling.
It's possible.
Yeah.
They already had a race this year where they finished 13.5 seconds ahead of third place.
Yep.
It's definitely doable. Problem is it's 2 guys that don't have a ton of experience racing at the top
Yeah.
versus a
Racing,
guy like
racing when you've got your nuts on the line type
Exactly.
thing, too.
That's the big difference there.
it'll be an exciting end of the year, I think.
There's going to be
Totally.
some nerves there that are going to show. But that's why we watch the sport.
Exactly.
Should we book our little podium finishes? Who we think's finishing 1, 2, 3 this week?
Ooh.
Let's do it. Let's go around.
Same. Start us off.
Want to start off? I'm gonna go Max, Lando, Lewis.
Okay.
Took it right out of my mouth.
Same thing?
Yeah. I was going to say the exact same thing.
I'll go. I know Max is going to win.
Watch
I'll
him
go
not
Max, Oscar, Lando.
I like it.
Interesting. I'm going to go Max, Sergio,
win. Oh.
Oscar.
Well, you got
That's
Lando
my-
finishing 4th or something.
I think Lando probably comes 4th or so.
So we
I
all
guess.
agree it's pretty much a Red Bull
In
Except Ricardo's
Vegas.
going to win in
Ricardo's.
F1
He's going to
F1
celebrate in
planet.
assless chaps with Matthew McConaughey. It's
And
just
a
going to be
cowboy
a
hat.
scene.
They're going to
Most
have the
American
Texas
thing in the
Longhorn
world.
Bull running through the track.
Yeah.
Bevo.
They're
That's
gonna,
what he comes up
that
on
his
the
name?
podium lifts, and he's
His name
just
is-
on a longhorn.
Bevo, dude.
That's the Texas Longhorns name
and
is Bevo.
Sam,
Yeah.
yes, but there's a
Interesting.
story. The reason is Bevo is because if you do the B, you can separate that into a 1 and a 3.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to remember it now that I say it. Somebody is going to know this better than me off the top of my head. But it's basically like it was like a rivalry game between Oklahoma, and they won like 13-0 or something like that. So it was like the B is 1-3.
Okay.
And then like the E is something, and then the V is versus, and then the O is 0. They won
Interesting.
13-0.
Oh.
Stall real fast. I'll figure it out. But
Okay.
dude, I met Bevo when I was like 9 or 10.
My brother's still alive. How long did
No, well, there's different.
I was
ones.
like,
They're on like probably like the 6th
They
generation.
flash frozen in like those whatever they call it.
he's been in,
Just in a block of
an ice
forever.
chamber just floating.
Yeah.
That'd be badass.
Oh, dude. That science on that
Here we
shit's
go.
crazy.
The legend goes that when UT students saw the branded Bevo, they converted the score 17-0 into the name Bevo. However, UT historians dispute that's right, yada, yada, yada. They think that it comes from beef. People calling him Bevo or the Beeves or
with
whatever.
the nice good
But
old
there's
Texas
something
accent.
there's something about like them winning 17-0 versus somebody, and
That's
they
right,
somehow
okay.
converted that into Bevo.
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 Which I thought is kind of a cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a clever little
They
way.
should pull him up to the track though. That brother, he should go to.
No, I thought they do.
I'd assume
I
he
don't know
goes.
if they do.
Coda.
Oh,
I wouldn't be
Last year, I'm pretty
surprised.
sure he visited. But
yeah.
I wouldn't
yeah.
be surprised.
it would be.
Interesting.
I bet you they'll be there.
I gotta source that photo because he has like they have like their own like obviously a massive badass trailer for him. It's all branded, you know, home like it says like Bevo on the side and like the tech like it's a cool trailer thing.
You know, honestly, I think we're gonna. If there's enough interest in it, maybe we'll cook up a Bevo behind an F1 wheel
Oh.
on a T, headed into Coda 2024 T.
That would
you
be
go.
a tight.
I'm about to
That'd be a
get to
tight-
work tonight on it. We're gonna crank
I'd
away.
bet that.
I could be fun. I don't know. Anyone have any closing thoughts on
I don't think so.
We're back, baby.
heading into this?
Yeah.
Other than that, we're back. We got Formula One in the next
In
week
the mix.
in the mix.
Sweet.
Happy. Oh, there was a day today. Dang it! And I just blanked out on it. It
Happy
was like
episode 10 day.
yeah, happy
Yeah.
episode. It is double digits. We've made it.
Hey, tag us in your bets. Let us know how your bets are going.
Yeah.
Sam, thank you for putting together a great agenda today. Sam,
Yeah.
as we've already said, is our betting correspondent. He's in cahoots with MGM, but we won't go into that.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
No free ads. Sorry, guys.
No free ads. He has
Isaac, have a great weekend.
Appreciate it.
Jackson,
Steiny.
I'll be me.
yeah, I was gonna make a Steiny joke. So.
Just be Steiny.
Thanks, guys. We will
see.
see you next week after Zandvoort. Eat some Gouda cheese this week. I encourage everyone.
And
Try
if,
Gouda.
and if you have a problem with gambling, get help.
Yep.
Yep.
Get help.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Later.
Take it easy.
Coming from the bottom, now stepping on it next. I've been working, I've been grinding. I need all of my respect. Getting dollars, yen, euros. Now really cashing checks. Mezzanine is on the deck. Mezzanine is on the deck.